Well, a very good morning. Welcome back to Hochfilzen. Not quite the scenes we had yesterday, where there was plenty of blue sky, but as far as the technicians go, the conditions are a little bit easier. There's a bit more moisture in the snow. It's a bit more compact after 2 or 3 days of heavy use. And a beautiful, beautiful venue not far from the German border. A venue, Mike, that you will have raced in many, many times.
Yes, I love it down here in Hochfilzen, Patrick, and generally we get this blue sky, beautiful snow conditions, but today a little challenging, I think, certainly for athletes to be able to pass each other on the track.
Well, I know you were a little mystified with the race yesterday. Me too. Some teams seem to get it right. Belarus and Germany seem to get the wax right. The Norwegian saying they're happy with their system. They admit they haven't got it 100% right all the way through the season, but looking forward to an easier day today. However, I don't think it was just the skis. Johannes Tingesbø quite happy to admit that he felt like lead on that final lap where he lost 30 seconds to Johannes Kern on that last lap alone. So he's not on peak form. He's nowhere near the standard that he set last year. And it's going to be very, very interesting as we approach the Olympics after the new year.
Yes, and I was looking at the ski times, only 2 Norwegians in the top 15 in terms of ski speed, and that's unusual. So I think it's clearly a ski preparation factor, not the ski brand, but the preparation. And it has been a big change with all the fluorocarbon waxes being taken away, disallowed, never allowed to use them again. And the technicians just coming to terms with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And strangely enough, it seems to have evened things up a bit, which cannot be a bad thing. I think we're in for a cracking season. If you look at the standings in the World Cup, it's much closer than usual.
Well, Johannes Kern must be so nervous to be leading out by a fabulous, 14 seconds ahead of Ponchiloma. Smolski must be nervous as well. His first podium, starting third. Well, there is Smolski starting just 21 seconds behind. His ski speed is not the best. 18th fastest yesterday, and I think he'll give a similar ski speed today, so he really needs to hit all 20 out of 20. Loganov, great first lap yesterday, very good second lap, faded on the third lap. Today it's 5 laps, he needs to pace it. Samuelson, well, second place overall now by only 1 point in the World Cup standings, and still leading the sprint competition. Taliebeau, I thought he had a very good day, missing 1 target, only 23 seconds behind. Very much attacking his performance in terms of shooting. Jacquelin, he will always fight from start to finish, and generally he likes this race, but he finds himself only 24 seconds behind, so a real challenger for the podium today. Philipp Norath, another of the Germans. Philipp from Ruhpolding. What a great day that was, in 8th position. And 40 seconds behind he starts today.
Yeah, so many PBs, Mike, in the top 15 yesterday. Hidden Salu, Strolia, all getting personal bests, which can only be a good thing. I wonder the fact that the Norwegians weren't there made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, maybe, and the psychology today in this lineup, the Norwegians might not be as imposing, as threatening as they normally are. There's always a little psychology when you see the big names slightly off the pace.
Yeah, we will see. If their skis are running well, I suspect we're going to see some big gains. And with Johannes Tingesbø starting number 30, it could be a fantastic race from him. He's got to shoot better than he has done so far this season, but he starts 30. What is he, 114, 115 off the race leader, Johannes Kern.
It's a huge margin, and there's the track profile. It's a big climb, slightly less than last weekend in middle of Sweden at 431 meters total climb. -2, it's much warmer. They'll be enjoying the warm temperatures, but massive humidity, 90%, and the track's very wet, which creates a suction on the base of the skis.
Yeah, the standing shooting yesterday wasn't of the highest standard. I wonder in this head-to-head whether it's going to be even worse, because they're going to find it that much harder to ease up before they come in for the stand shoot. We'll find out in a few minutes' time. These start coming up shortly. Last few minutes of preparation here in Hochfilzen, and it's a little bit damp out there, sends a chill through the bones. Smolski, third yesterday. What an amazing run for him. His first time clear since he raced in Novo Mesto last year, and look what happens. He's on the podium. Good skis, no doubt. Solar, of course, going so well in the women's. Ponsaloma, Mike, proving once again that sprint win in the World Championships was no fluke.
Yes, he's the real deal, isn't he? But hitting 9, yes, he touches the podium. Hitting 10, he really is a winner, the way he skis.
And Johannes Kern, never seen him looking quite as strong as he did yesterday. The fastest last lap, as far as I can work out, by over 10 seconds. That was outstanding. No doubt spurred on by the fact that he got a good split, but he did miss a target. And so there's even more potential in there than we saw yesterday.
The nervous march, Patrick, up to the grid. They'll all be going through their final mental preparation checks, make sure all the equipment is correct.
The distance in the middle of your screen is just a virtual distance. How far behind they're likely to be. They're banking on standard snow conditions. Today, with a bit of moisture in there, they're well pressed. The tracks are pretty quick. Johannes Tingesbo effectively 481 meters behind. So he's got a big task on his hand. It's quite exciting, isn't it, Mike? Because he has the potential to win this. He has if he goes 20 out of 20 and the nerves get to those in the front, then he could possibly win it. But he's also got, as well as Kern and Ponsaloma, he's got you know, seasoned pursuit racers like Jacquelin and Fiamme ahead of him.
He's got some huge names ahead of him, hasn't he? But I also think today, Patrick, it's difficult passing on the track. The centre part will be skied in, but actually this wet new snow will definitely hold back the top 8, top 10 athletes, effectively hold them back in terms of the glide. And then those behind will have a better run, a smoother run, as the snow will have been pressed down. So Johannes Tingesbo, I think his first lap, he'll pull a lot of time back on the lead bunch, and he'll feel that he's back in the game.
Johannes Kern there, just getting ready. First win in 9 years of World Cup biathlon. Ponsaloma next door to him, 1-13 in the World Championships, having taken gold, dropped down to 13th position. He missed, I think it was 6 targets, and missed 4 out of 10 in the prone, so he's got to get through that stage unscathed. Smolski, never been in this situation before. How will he cope with the pressure? Loganov, Mike, has been here. He's had a win in the last 3 seasons, so he perhaps the most experienced of the 4 on that front grid.
Yes, he must be feeling a lot more positive, especially with his first 2 laps performance yesterday.
Well, you can almost see the nerves. The athletes can certainly feel them. Christiansen, starting 16. He has got to go well to defend the yellow bib and the red bib. And Samuelsson, who is his main challenger in the World Cup, there's only 1 point between them. So whoever wins between Samuelsson and Christiansen today will be, I think it's fair to say, is likely to hold on to the yellow bib. So away we go. Johannes Kern, as I said, 9 years on the World Cup tour. A long-awaited win yesterday. It was a sensational run. Ponsaloma also has 1 win to his name. That was the world title in Pachuca last year. Can he overhaul the German? It's going to be a big task, but he's certainly a match for him, usually on the snow. Smolski for Belarus, who had their best day of the season yesterday. Then goes Loganov, Taliabo, Jacquelin, Fiamme, Filip Norath starting at 24 seconds. And then we got Lazuski, Latiapov, who's had a brilliant season, and Hidasalo making up the top 11. 16. Over on the far side, Vetle Sjorstad Christiansen. Surprise leader of the World Cup, chasing down Seb Samuelsson, who got away number 14, as quick as anyone out there. Fabian Cloud, now he's got a great record in pursuit, so often works his way up through the order. Roman Rees is 21, just ahead of him is Bedrushny, 18. So tightly packed in that middle of the field that one mistake could cost you loads of positions. A clear shoot could gain you, what, 15 at least in these sort of conditions. Sima Desure is in there, Bormolini's in there, Sapala's there, and then Johannes Tingesbo starting at 1 minute 14 off the pace of the race leader, Johannes Kern.
What an interesting race. Mentioning there, Patrick, Johannes Tingesbo starting midfield, only the top 60 from yesterday, and he's in new territory, maybe slightly depressing territory, that he's starting midfield. I think he'll maybe view it more as a fantastic challenge to move up the field by as many as he can possibly catch.
Now, if you were Johannes, who would you have talked to find out what it's like trying to work your way through? In other words, who do you think is the best at starting midfield and working their way forward?
Yeah, I like Desio. He generally moves up the rankings. Didn't work out that well last weekend. Lukas Hofer traditionally is pretty good at that as well. And Fionn Maillet, for me, is one of the best in pursuits, chasing.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd go and have a cheeky wine with the Italian team, because Hofer, as you say, is good at it. Dorothea Vera is better than most, often makes a mistake on the sprint and then works her way forward in the pursuit. That would be a good evening, I think, and probably relax Johannes, take away his troubles. Obviously not as dominant as he was last year. This stage last year, Mike, he was 50 points clear in the World Cup. This season, after 5 races, we have 50 points separating the top 7 athletes.
It's a very strange season and an exciting season. Seeing Johannes Kern winning yesterday, an early start number yesterday, no expectations on his shoulders. In fact, they didn't even take him to the first World Cup because they said his shooting was not reliable enough. And then 10 days later, he wins his first World Cup race.
Yeah, in good form. Ponzalomo already taken 5 seconds out of the German, though, on that first lap. Smolsky started at 20.5, so he's gained a few fractions. Logging off, started at 22, so a 3-second gain from the Russian. Taribo, who has gone from 23 up to 20, so steady progress from him, and he's taken Jacquelin and Fionn Maillet with him. Samuelsson, on the other hand, who started 44 seconds down, is absolutely flying at the moment. 9 seconds taken out of the race leader, and the 2 Swedes, Ponzalomo and Samuelsson, the 2 fastest men on the track, will get a reading on Johannes Tingesbo shortly. But Mikey said his legs felt heavy, his arms felt ineffective. It wasn't the sort of report that the Norwegian fans were wanting to hear.
No, and when he's admitting that clearly, and it's like if you haven't warmed up and you attack into a sprint, your arms do feel dead, your legs, you cannot feel them. It almost, to me, feels that maybe he's had overtraining coming into the race season. But I do expect Johannes Tingesbo will be a lot better today.
Yeah, Samuelsson already has the leaders in his sights. That is quite phenomenal as he goes through. Suspect he, having started 44, he's probably under 30 seconds behind now, coming up to the timing wand. Jacquelin still in 7th. Samuelsson's gone up into 8th, having started 14th. How much money are you going to put on him hitting 5 on that first shoot?
Not a lot.
There's Johannes Tingesbo in that group. Have we got his time? I don't think we have it. Have we got it?
At 1.2, he'd moved 6 seconds up on the lead time. Yes, there he is leading the train there. Looking good, looking strong.
Yeah, good start. But the last lap was really the concern, wasn't it? Not a huge gain. I think a patient gain by Johannes Tingesbo at the moment. Ponzalomo is almost into the slipstream of Johannes Kern, who's taking this first lap pretty steady. That will be interesting. If Ponzalomo can go clear on the first prone, he's in a good position. Worth saying, Mike, Johannes Kern has not missed a prone target so far this year.
Yes, great statistics in the prone. His weakness coming later in the stand. Of course, in this, the pursuit, it's first time in, shoot in the prone position, the second time prone, and then the pressure, 2 stands come later. 2.5 kilometers in between each time into the shooting range.
Well, you can see the work rate from the man in yellow is considerably higher than his main rival, Kern, in front of him. I should think the Swedish coaches are a little bit nervous at the moment, Mike. That's a very full-on lap that Ponsaloma has put in.
Yes, Ponsaloma, he must have taken that right up at 89–90% of his maximum, which is basically on your safe limit.
So first shoot of 4, first 2 in the prone, second 2 obviously in the stand.
Great discipline from Johannes Kern. He stuck to his own routines. He wasn't phased at all by Ponsaloma skiing much faster. And in fact, Ponsaloma now on the penalty loop.
Yeah, 1 penalty to pay, so keep an eye on the clock. That will give you a good idea of how long the penalty loop is taking today. Loganov, solid. Miss from Smolsky. He's going to drop down the order very fast today unless he can tidy up his shooting. Samuelsson, despite putting in the fastest lap, goes clear with 5. That is a wonderful effort from him. Christiansen clears 5, but he's got some doing to catch Samuelsson, who should be in yellow at the end of today if he can beat Christiansen, who has the yellow bib at the moment.
Johannes Tingesbo has it down to 53 seconds behind the lead time. He started at 1:14 behind. Great first lap for Johannes Tinges.
Yeah, very interesting to see how he copes with this situation. Now, where did the miss go? Well, there's your answer. High right from Ponsaloma. Any idea what happened there, Mike?
It was such a big miss, Patrick. It was nothing to do with wind. It was panic reactions, I think. So just snatching through the trigger. Not calm on that shot at all to miss by almost 2 centimeters. Johannes
Kern, yeah,
he left 18 seconds ahead. He's still got a good advantage.
Ponsaloma left the range, what, half a second before him, not much more than that, and has come out 18 seconds. So a penalty loop of sub 20, that sounds unlikely. Remember, it's a 50-meter loop. Ski's still running well for Kern, and keeps his 100% record in the prone position. He's got another 5 shots in prone before he has to switch to his weaker position. He's only got a 75% hit rate on the stand, so that is where this race could come undone for him. And at the moment, he's being chased by Tariabo, who's gone from 5 to 2 with a good clear shoot. He's got Loganov behind him. 6, of course, is Jacquelin, the world champion.
So further down the track, just an update on some names and the big names further down. Lukas Hofer has shot the perfect 5 out of 5, but he's gained 2 places. He's now 21st. Johannes Tingesbo started 30th. He's now 20th, only 57 seconds behind. So his shooting was reasonably quick today. He was quite slow yesterday, so that's good news for the Norwegian. Any other big movers? Lagerheid, 20th to 13th, as always. As nearly always, he's hit his first 5 shots. And Fillon Maillet, for me, the biggest surprise. He's missed 1 target, so still in 7th place, but 40 seconds behind. And there he is now, bib number 7. Samuelsson attacking, continually attacking on the track, and he did hit 5 out of 5. He'll hope for the same score next time in.
So just to recap, if you've just joined us, Johannes Kern of Germany getting away from the first shoot, 18 seconds clear. That gap has now come down. Taribo is up there at 18, Loganov 18, Jacquelin 22, Ponsaloma 23. So a correction from what I said earlier on, a 23.8 second penalty loop, there or thereabouts. That's much more like it. Samuelsson is up there with Ponsaloma, having started 14th, so he's done exceptionally well. And Christiansen, the World Cup lead, has gone from 16 to 10. Those dropping down, well, the most notable really is Smolsky of Belarus, who's gone from 3rd to 12th on one shoot alone. Filmé for France. Which of the French do you think is going to shine this year, Mike? Jacquelin has looked good. Filmé, of course. Detieux is there. Guigenat isn't far off, but hasn't quite caught up with the top names in the French team.
No, I'm hoping Guigenat, as he did, a couple of years ago when he went to Annecy, to Le Grand Bonnard, he really did lift his game. I'm hoping we'll see that next week. He'll find his shooting. The French team are just so compact there. You've always got 4 very good ski times, normally 4 very good performances in the top 20. They really are quite an amazing team now, challenging the Norwegians.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Have you seen anything confirmed about the crowds in Annecy, Le Grand Bonnard?
I haven't heard yet.
I'm assuming it's going to be the same policy as for here.
That's sad.
Which is really sad, because I think over the last couple of years they have created a better atmosphere, maybe not as loud as Ruhpolding, but a better atmosphere than anywhere else on the tour, and a lot of appreciation. They had to wait a long time to have their first World Cup, and of course the French are one of the top 2 nations in the sport at the moment.
Just looking at the 5 athletes here, Patrick, Loganov, trailblazer, so a little slower at the front, but the skis, everyone seems to be much the same. Mark Kirchner looking on nervously for his superstar Kern.
So 12:53 on the clock when Kern came into the range. Can he keep that 100% record going? He looks very, very calm for a man who is leading his first head-to-head World Cup. Can he make it 2 in a row?
Not even the cameraman being so close. I thought I wouldn't want to see that in my peripheries, but he's managing to keep it together once again.
Yeah, another excellent shoot from Johannes Kern.
Some great shooting at the sharp end there.
Yeah, Taribo, Seb Samuelsson, both going 5. Filmé is there. Jacquelin has 5 down. Ponsaloma, another mistake, so that's 1 miss on each of the prones. That's what he does tend to do. Christiansen has missed, and that's good news for Samuelsson in his bid to claim the yellow bib for a race or 2. Detieux has gone 5. Benny Vega on the rise. Johannes Tingesbo, 5 out of 5. Maybe midfield is where he likes to start, Mike. The pressure is off, the cameras aren't on him, and slowly but surely he's working his way through the field. But the big names we mentioned earlier on really have performed pretty well so far. Jacquelin, Taribo, Loganov, Samuelsson, Filmé. Only Filmé of those names has missed a single target so far.
So exciting. Johannes Tingesbo from 30th all the way to 11th, and we're not even halfway yet.
Yeah, he's got the margin down to 47 seconds. Can he win this? Can he win this? It would be a massive ask. There are plenty of athletes that have actually gained 30 places in one pursuit. I was thinking back to the first pursuit just last week. Eric Lesser went from 48 to 18. So that was a pretty good effort. Giacomo, 26 to 7. And Simoneda, perhaps the most impressive, 27th up to 6th, shooting 20 out of 20.
It's just, I'll check on Ader. He started bib 40. Normally, he hits his targets. So back out on the track. And some 6-7 minutes since the track was last skied on, so you have a little bit, the snow is backing off now, but as soon as you get a new layer of snow down, I say it's backing off, it's certainly not backing off. That was the camera angle. But Jacquelin, the brave one, making a decisive move now to try and close those 19 seconds down. He will drag the rest of the challengers with him. Tariabo looks like he's on his limit there. Will he try and play safe and stick at his own pace, or will he go with Jacquelin? I think he'll probably try to live with Jacquelin's pace.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Mike, whether the big names are concerned about Kern's pace on the last lap yesterday. He was outstanding over the last 3K yesterday, and maybe they feel they need to be on level terms with him before they get to that stage.
Yes, trying to contain him, pull him in.
Well, what a race we have developing here. Kern still has a lead. It's gone from 19 down to 14, thanks to the effort being put in by Jacquelin. But the guys in that train, Mike, are going to be right on their limit. Tariabo looks a little bit weary. Logging off, we know he was quick early on. His splits yesterday were fascinating. First fastest on the first loop, 9th on the second, 21st on the third. He got slower and slower as the race went on. So I wouldn't have my money on him quite yet. Samuelsson still looking fantastic. Got himself up, where did Samuelsson start? Down in 14th. And he could well be in the top 3 at the end of this third shoot.
The best mover, actually, Patrick, just seen him go through there. It's Sivert Guttorm Bakken. He's gone from 36th all the way up to 16th.
Yeah, good move from Bakken, who may well be the lead-off man in the Norwegian relay tomorrow. 3 days, 3 hard races. It's a pretty brutal program. And with COVID, Mike, the Biathlon have certainly tightened up the schedule. Instead of stringing it out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's generally Friday, Saturday, Sunday now, with the same number of races.
And that's more intense, isn't it, for the athletes? Not getting your day recoveries really makes a difference. And not many sports would ask such intense competitions of their athletes on a week-by-week basis.
Yeah, I can see a tools down protest coming at some stage. There's Johannes Tingesbø tucked in behind Gigener, and still controlled up to 10th, having started 30, 39.9. No real time gained on this lap, but maybe there's a tactic in there to make sure he's got something left for the end. Christiansen has dropped down to 17. Well, he only started 16. But he has lost a couple of seconds.
Oh, this is, can you imagine now what's going through Johannes Kern's mind? He's still ahead, the world is chasing him, and his weaker discipline is now the stand shooting coming up.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Just looking, well, he did manage to hit 4 out of 5 yesterday. He hit 7 out of 10 in Östersund in the pursuit. In the World Championships, he had an absolute disaster. 2-1-3-1, I think his shooting was. So he missed 4 of 10 in the stand in the World Championships.
Tariabo, I felt yesterday, although he missed 1 and we heard him scream with anger as he missed the very last shot, he snatched the last shot, but his routine and his build-up of position, I thought was Tarja at his best.
Are you saying a new leader for lap number 4?
I've just got that feeling. I mean, I hope that Johannes Kern can keep the discipline, the composure that he's shown throughout this race. But now he will feel physically as well as mentally the pressure.
Here we go, first standing shoot. Johannes Kern has led from the start to this point. No one's got within under 7 seconds of him. Every time he comes to the range, he's extended his lead.
Fantastic.
Well, he has to be happy with that. He has to be happy with that. That was a great shoot. And the pressure switches suddenly to the chasers. Fielmaillet, 5 with 5. Jacquelin could join him. Tadiabo misses his first one. Samuelsson misses his first one. And Jacquelin with one miss as well. So it's Fielmaillet on his own. No help for the Frenchman this time in chasing down Johannes Kern. There is one shoot remaining. Detieux, is he going to be out there? Could get himself into the top 3. And 2 misses from Johannes Tingesbø. Suddenly, his rise up the rankings comes to a sudden halt. And I don't think we're going to see him back in the top 5 at any stage of this race. Christiansen, 4 out of 5 seems to be the average score. Bakken, 4 out of 5. He's been making great ground, but that comes to a halt.
Leigrid.
Eric Lesser.
Yeah, Leigrid, 5 out of 5, quite fast. Tadiabo, like his younger brother Johannes Tingesbø, he missed 2 out of 5. They really have knocked themselves out of the race. For the podium, at least.
Yeah, crucial stage. And suddenly the gaps are more widespread. Fielmaillet, 12 behind. He's got, what, 19 seconds back to his teammate Simon Detieux. We've got Jacquelin in 4th at the moment. So Germany leading 3 Frenchmen. Let's have a look and see where these shots went.
I think Tarja, he did so much of the lead pace. Jacquelin went early, and then Jacquelin, realizing there was so much work, suction on the track. Tarja led so much of the pace into the range, certainly didn't help him in that performance.
Three big hurdles put in his way. He's cleared them all neatly and fast. He has one more remaining, but he has a Frenchman who is desperate to get on level terms before they come in for that last shoot. He wants to be breathing down the neck of the German. Any distraction, legal of course, could work to his advantage. And Fielmaillet so much more experienced at this sort of level. What's he got? 8 wins, 6 wins in his career. Mike, Johannes Tingesbø still on 52 wins. He's got more wins than the 29 athletes who started in front of him put together by some margin.
Isn't that an incredible performance? And yeah, what he had his first World Cup win 2013 at next week's venue, Annecy. I was just thinking about Fielmaillet as well. He loves the pursuit competitions. He took 2 victories last year. I'm also thinking, Patrick, now what, mid-December, I think Johannes Kern has booked his ticket for the flight out to the Olympics, out to Beijing.
Well, I think if he wins this one, he's probably also going to be the anchor man on the relay. He's done himself proud here this weekend in Hochfilzen.
Fielmaillet, he started or left the range 12 seconds behind. He's halved that deficit. He's got it down to 6.
24 is Simon Detieux. What a brilliant race he's had so far. Samuelsson is 14, so Samuelsson still has the advantage in the bid for the yellow bib. Christiansen and Samuelsson, as I mentioned, just a point apart. Jacquelin only 14 points off the lead, so if Jacquelin can do something, if he could win this and Samuelsson dropped down a couple of places, it may be Jacquelin who comes away with the yellow bib at the end of today. Tadiabo, what's he, 33 points or so off the leaders. He's not going to claim it today, whatever happens.
Eric Lesser, you mentioned him earlier, from 34th. He's in 11th place now. His ski speed hasn't looked great when he races individually, but in a hunting race like this, he lifts his game as he does in the relay.
So, Fielmaillet has made contact. He can feel the heat coming off the German in front of him, and Johannes Kern will be very, very aware of that. He'll also be aware that he hit his first 5 in the stand, and he seldom goes 10 out of 10 on a 4-shoot race in the standing position. So I wonder how strong he is mentally. If he does win this one, Mike, just about every test has been thrown at him.
He's yes, he will have ticked every box there if he does manage, and the composure he showed last time in, you can't but have faith in him. Leigrid will be happy after his sore throat last weekend in Sweden. He's certainly back in good shape from 20th to 12th. He's missed one, though.
Well, it's tightly packed. There's Christiansen in the yellow and red, now down in 18th position. Could be dropping to 3rd in the overall standings. He's got a couple of Norwegians, including Johannes Tingesbø, just 2 places behind him. It is extraordinarily tightly packed in that midfield, Mike. One good shoot could win you 15, 20 points.
Yes, quite incredible. I feel just looking at earlier at Samuelsson, his pacing, we saw how much he attacked the first lap, the second lap. He's now level pacing, so he's dropped off in relation to some of those athletes around him.
Yeah, Norath, we just got a shot of him. He performed very well yesterday to get himself up into 8th, the man from Ruhpolding, but he is struggling a little bit today. So, France versus Germany. Should they both make mistakes, then there are plenty waiting in the wings to come through. Fielmaillet, just 0.6 of a second ahead of Kern coming into the range, which means he goes for lane 1. Fielmaillet with 6 wins, 4th in the World Championships last year in the pursuit. Looks very, very composed, and he's the first to settle, should be the first to strike. Oh, the pressure is on Kern. That was tough, Mike. That was tough, and a very good move from Fielmaillet to go through into the lead.
What a shame for Kern. Everything right until the last 21 seconds on the range, and a bit of a meltdown.
Well, maybe not the anchor leg in the German team after that. It was a good test. The more he does it, the better he'll get at it. There's certainly some positives to take out of his performance over the last couple of days. Jacquelin, 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4. Are the French going to go for a clean sweep here in Hochfilzen? It's certainly looking good at the moment. Ries with 2 misses, Loganov 2, Samuelsson misses yet again. Who's going to snatch the 3rd place? Jacquelin is out, 38 seconds behind. 2 men who were excellent last season in the pursuit races.
Oh, Johannes Tingesbø, he went for absolute rapid fire. Just the last shot escaped him.
Leitner, well, that's great news for the home team. Leitner gets himself up into 3rd. He's got Tadej Bo just behind him, 59 seconds. So that's a bit of a race. Leigrid, Mike, only 2 seconds behind Bo. And then we've got Smolski, who sort of disappeared after the first shoot, but has worked his way back up into 6th position, 101 behind, but he's only 3 seconds off the podium. Maybe he can do it 2 days in succession.
Oh, 5 athletes, 7 seconds separating them for that 3rd place on the podium. That's going to be one fight, one big challenge.
Yeah, brilliant racing from Fielmaillet. Mike, he was 4th in the World Championships, the race won by his teammate Jacquelin, who is the man chasing him down now. But I think he realised that to get into Johannes Kern's head, he had to get ahead of him.
I was surprised in a sense when he did push ahead, but it's really taking charge, isn't it? Showing your authority. Okay, I'm fearless, I'm going in first. But I must admit, I still felt that Johannes Kern was relaxed and just focusing in on himself. He just lost the strength into the rifle.
6 into 1 doesn't go. Only one of these men is going on the podium. And Tadej Bo is going very, very early. I'm not sure leading the way is going to help his cause. Sweden have Samuelsson in there. You know, Samuelsson's quick, Mike. He's proved that time and time again this week. Detieu starting to feel that he can challenge at the front of this group. Smolski is still there over on the far side wearing bib number 3. The Austrians will be delighted that their man is still putting in a fine performance.
Yes, Leitner has done so well there. He's one of only, what, 3 men to hit the perfect 20 out of 20. But I think in this group, Leitner, for me, is the least expected to go through onto that 3rd podium spot.
Well, Tadej Boer certainly knows how to grind it out. He goes up the first climb, then drops back down to the left. Probably quite good to be leading through the chicane. It's quite a tricky section of the course. This man is going to have to settle for second. He's a little bit in no man's land. He can see the train behind him. He knows exactly what he's got to do. He should be able to hang on there. Still 30 seconds behind Phil Maillet, who's having an absolute country stroll to the finish to claim his 1st win of the season and his 7th win of his career.
I'm a little surprised Tadej Boer, he's the most experienced in this group, that he's still leading. Not an advantage. And there's Leitner thinking, okay, I still have strength, I can do this.
Samuelsson's best place for me, Mike, sitting just behind Tadej Boer, wearing 14 and a position on the podium. Should claim his position at the top of the standings. It'd only be 1 place behind Jacquelin, who is the man behind him in the World Cup standings.
Leigrid looking strong, bib 20 there. He just hasn't quite yet made contact. I think that's Kretschmar. Is it Kretschmar ahead of him?
Or is it Leitner?
It's Leitner, it's Leitner.
I think it's Leitner just ahead, and he's got to be wary because that gap has opened up on the downhill. He could do with going through early. Leigrid, the 2nd Norwegian in that chase group, but the 3rd group is catching the 2nd group, so we could have a 10-way fight for that last podium finish. The 2 Frenchmen are away and clear. That is where the race will be settled, but there's no excitement there. This is the business end of this race, the pursuit.
It's so difficult to pass, Patrick. Look at Leigrid, he went wide, but it's so much slower there on the unskied part of the track. He's opting to go back in, and that's why no one really wants to waste the energy to pass early.
Well, you think that's why Tadej Boer has been leading for so long. He's certainly putting in a good work rate, but as soon as we come to the downhill, Samuelsson is going to get sucked along. De Tuurt is going to get in the slipstream as well. He's number 24. And 2 wins to his name. He's not going to get one today, but a podium would make it a clean sweep for the French, and that will be very much on his mind at the moment.
Tadej Boer has kept that pace so firm, and look at the damage he's done to 4, 5, 6 of the athletes that were in that one train. Now there's 3 remaining.
Yeah, Smolsky can't quite live with it. And Leigrid has dropped off the pace as well, but a better performance from Leigrid. Remember, he was 2nd in the overall World Cup last year. Here comes Phil Maillet, wearing 7, and he claims win number 7 of his career. Absolutely outstanding performance from Phil Maillet. 19 hits out of 20. 19 hits out of 20, and he hit the 5 when it mattered most, as he was alongside Johannes Kern.
What a wonderful performance for Phil Maillet. You just felt he didn't over-attack early on. He skied within his comfort zone and then really started just opening up to his maximum on the last couple of laps.
And Jacquelin, the world champion, settles for 2nd, and now the sprint for 3rd. Keep an eye on the right-hand side. It's De Tuurt trying to make it a clean sweep for the French, and I think he's going to make it. He does. Samuelsson was in there. Well, Samuelsson given it initially, but I think De Tuurt just pipped him with a better timed lunge. Photo finish, I'm sure, will just confirm that. Tadej Boer has to go 5th, and the hard work, Mike, meant that he wasn't pushed down into 9 or 10. So I guess that was his thinking. He knew it was dangerous to lead the likes of Samuelsson and De Tuurt, but he wanted to break away from as many as he could in that chase group. So a fabulous day for the French. 1, 2 and 3, and it's Phil Maillet who claims the win in the 2nd pursuit of the season.
What a race. That was incredible. De Tuurt coming through. He played it well. He timed it perfectly. And Samuelsson, what happened there? He just ran out of energy in the final 10 meters.
Well, great race, and feel a little bit of sympathy for Johannes Kern. He led the first loop, he led the second and the third and the fourth, but the final shoot proved to be his undoing. He dropped to 55 seconds behind, missing 3 on that last shoot, and ending up in 15th position. One test too far.
Bravo Simon, le sprinter. Heureusement que je suis souple, ça a beau jeter de pied.
Well, who's your money on for the relay tomorrow? Anyone going to be putting it on anyone other than France after that performance? That was outstanding.
Yeah.
And a 1, 2, 3. It's not the first time, but it's always good to see it. Samuelsson, Mike, a solid performance from him. He claims the overall World Cup lead, finishing comfortably ahead of Christiansen, who had a bit of a nightmare, down in 19th place. Only 2 misses by Christiansen, but the ski speed wasn't there today. Any other performances? Smolski, a good recovery. Leitner, brilliant for the Austrian. 32nd, all the way up into 7th, hitting 20 out of 20.
Yeah, your colleague is speaking.
Dann Kovac jetzt im Ziel als 49. Hat also auch 7 Plätze gut machen können. Dann Österreich. Die Läufer waren ja auf der Strecke, also es fehlen noch einige, die das Ziel noch erreichen müssen. Also bitte die Strecke nach wie vor frei halten. Fünfte dann aus last year we saw on the first, on the second, and on the third 3 Norwegians, and today it's a French day here in Hochfilzen. With a stand with Dr. Omaye, second Emilio Jacquelin, and third.
Den du was da, der ist so.
United States of America in 54th position. Schon dort. Kommt einfach nicht mehr nach vorne. War immer Juniorenbereich mit Felix Leitner mit das Master-Dinge. Und ist jetzt dazwischen 40 und 59.
Wir müssen das Typ kannst du ja frei bleiben. Der Beste, wichtige Nummer.
Ja, wichtiger Platz heute für Österreich.
Ja, 59 oder 60.
Für die Gruppe von Winter und vor allem das Liedweise hier. In der letzten Runde.
Plätze verloren hat, aber ganz wenig Zeit verloren hat, und das lässt vor allem auch in Sachen Laufform hoffen auf alles, was da in den nächsten Wochen noch kommen wird.
These are the best of this pursuit competition. Samuelsson, Sweden in 4th, Tadej in 5th, Smolski in 6th, and Felix Leitner, Austria in 7th position. Below Belgium have finished in 57th position, Gucci, Poland, 58th position finish. Blanco Slovenia, the 59th in this race. Einen Mittelmänner von Rimas, Lesewittar, Startnummer 17. Dann sind alle 60 im Ziel und wie gesagt, in Kürze dann die Sieger und hier im Ziel raus. Bei dieser Siegerehrung sehen wir natürlich die 6 Besten des heutigen Rennens. 6 fastest competitors we will see at the victory ceremony. Guillaume Châtelain and Berdieu, France, Samuelson, Sweden, Kalgebø, Norway, Smolski, and these are the 6 best competitors. Guillaume for Châtelain und Berdieu. Course time, last lap, Ponsiglione was the fastest, followed by Lapidov, Johannes Dias and Samuelsson. Simonetta, 19th best last lap, lost only 9.7 seconds, Felix lost 15 seconds. Vor allem Oliver Goldie Simonetta. Platz 38, Ziel, Österreicher Simonetta. 40 ist er gestartet, das hat auch Zeit. Der dritte in Runde 9,30 ist bei 49 and the LOC boss and responsible for biathlon in Austria, Franz Berger, will be at the awards.
you really looked in great shape, and in the last penultimate loop, you even took over. Was that a strategy?
I have a very, very great shape today, perfect legs today. I know I can keep Johannes and before the last shooting for try to keep the win, and I know I'm strong in standing shootings. I trust on me, and yes, I'm very happy, and like I say, and it's unbelievable. I never expect to finish on the podium with two of my colleagues, and that's an amazing day for a French team.
It totally is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tu fais demi-tour au fond là-bas. Tu vois où t'en es, mais. Ah. Putain, bien. Heureusement que je suis souple. Hein.
Eh bien, très beau jeter le pied. Hein.
Bah, c'est ça qu'il fait. Hein.
Franchement.
Parce qu'il est devant moi. Hein. Il est devant moi. Il a rien
lui,
devant.
il est comme ça et toi, t'es là.
For a moment of glory.
C'est bon ça. C'est bon.
Bravo.
Bon gamin.
Oh, je suis bloqué là. J'arrive pas à me relever après la ligne.
Ça faut le regarder celle-là.
Ah ouais.
Profite mec.
Merci.
Voyez. Ça reste là quoi. Allez gamin. C'est bon. Let's go. Let's go.
Tu connais lui? Oui, non, pas vraiment. Sergei. Il est pas tout le temps là, mais je dis tu le connais parce que des fois il arrive avec une petite topette et il paye son coup. J'ai déjà vu faire ça.
C'est à la télé ou et mon jeune, ça va?
Ouais, c'est cool. Ah ouais, c'est bien. Ouais, franchement, impressionnant, est-ce que ça skie bien, est-ce qu'il
Ouais, ça va, ça se passe bien. Ouais. C'est plus dur aujourd'hui qu'hier, j'ai l'impression. Mais...
C'est trop bien, il me filme moi. Il filme les skis. Exactement.
Mais toi, il faut que tu viennes avec moi parce que c'est toi l'avenir.
Je sais pas pourquoi il me filme, mais c'est tout.
Sorry for destroying the French party.
Yeah. Ja, han var ju, jag trodde, eller det kändes som att det var före, men det stod att han var 10. Men på bilderna så var jag före, så då... Ja, fan, då var jag nummer 3 ut, men det kändes inte...
Jag ville vara en, fordi
Du är starting.
det var en eller 2 helst.
Ja, men vi fick ju lite lucka på honom i backen.
Ja, vi gjorde det.
Ja.
Jag hörde det.
Men sen jag tror rundan runt och...
Jag skjønte han med glede. Jeg jobba jo okej.
Ja, ja, en grej. Jag tror han hade bra tid.
It's finished for the third place. This is for the finish.
Yes, yes.
Jeg mangler litt fart. Men jeg hadde lyst til å gå hele bakken.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a warm welcome here in Hochfilzen. BMW IBU World Cup Biathlon Award men 12.5 km per competition. In third place, auf Platz Nummer 3, aus Schweden, representing Sweden, Sebastian Samuelsson. Greens from General Secretary Niklas Carlsen and LOC boss Franz Berger in second place. Auf Platz Nummer 2, representing France aus Frankreich, Emilien Jacquelin. Damit der große Moment, the moment, erster, first and winner Hochfilzen 2021, representing France aus Frankreich, Biathlon. Woo!
Is that 20 or? No. One behind the last.
Once again, a big cheer for the top 3. Emilien Jacquelin and Sebastian Samuelsson. In fourth place, auf Platz Nummer 4, representing France aus Frankreich, Simon Desquieux. An der 5. Stelle, in 5th place, representing Norway aus Norwegen, Tarjei Bø. Und auf Platz Nummer 6, an der 6. Stelle, in Fix. Once again a great result for Belarus and Anton Smolski, Weißrussland. World-class athletes with a world-class performance. Quentin Fillon-Maillet wins Hochfilzen, Jacquelin in second, Sebastian Samuelsson in third, Simon Desquieux in fourth, Tarjei Bø in fifth, and Anton Smolski in sixth place. Boys, well done. And once again, as always, after the awards, enjoy your day. And we hear and we see us soon with the next competition, ladies team competition, quarter past 2. Klappe, die zweite heute also um 1:45 mit der Staffelentscheidung bei den Damen.
Den känslan, jag vågar inte säga någonting. Ja, men jag tyckte att det var farligt, men jag sa det till Hannes när jag kom ihåg. Jag hann honom liksom, men samtidigt när det ska bli så händelser, jag tror det så att jag nästan var till. Jag vill tycka att det är lite rädd för det. force, super fort,